Welcome to Forensic Friday.
where we examine the intersection of true crime, psychology, and the heart of being human in the middle of it all. It was my turn to almost die.
Yeah, so what happened?
So Nat left at 3, and her pregnant self was like, "I'm out."
Yeah, I literally was like, peace out, bye.
Yeah, you were out like a shot at 3 o'clock. I left at 6:30. It was okay. It got a little snowy. I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I said, "Hey, I think I need all-wheel drive." And I got my new car, so I don't know how to do that in this car. So then my
Right.
mom's Googling like how to put on the all-wheel drive, and I just really didn't know what buttons to push. Finally figured it out. Get myself an all-wheel drive, and it's like slushy, whatever. And my drive's usually like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Everything's fine until I get down to like Castle Rock-ish.
Mm.
And girl, it all of a sudden the snow starts stacking up on the road, but
Oh
that wasn't
no.
even the problem. You and I, we can drive in snow, right?
Mm-hmm.
The wind was
Mm-hmm.
circling around my car, almost like I felt like I was in a tornado, like my own car was in a tornado. It was the most insane thing I've ever driven in. And I mean, I used to drive home from Boulder. We've driven up in the mountains, like whatever. I've never in my life been in a situation like this where the whole highway just stopped
Oh
because
no.
nobody could see.
Oh
So then
no.
everybody's putting on their hazards, but like no one's driving. And
Yeah.
it's not because of traffic, it's because you can't see.
Yeah.
So finally, I'm rolling along at like 5 miles an hour, and I go to get off at my exit, and you can't see signs, you can't see the side of the road, and it's kind of a hill. And Nat, it was so freaking scary. A couple times I was like, I'm just gonna pull over, but you
Yeah.
couldn't safely pull over because you can't tell where the side of the road is.
Oh my
And
gosh.
to my
That's
house is a two
insane.
lane, two lane road up a hill, right?
Yeah.
So I can't see anything. I end up off the side of the road, and a car comes flying around me like a truck with a horse trailer. They couldn't see me.
Oh my
It
gosh.
didn't hit my new car, thank God, because I'm like, my
Thank
insurance company is
yeah.
gonna be like, bye, Felicia, if I hit
Yeah.
the thing. So this car goes flying by me, and I'm like, I'm just gonna stay with this truck that had this horse trailer. So we come over this one hill, and I see probably 30 cars all over the road on both sides
Oh
stopped with
no.
hazards. So then I tear up because I'm like, this isn't how I saw my life ending.
Oh
2 minutes
no.
from my house. I'm never gonna get home. And I was like, I could just pull over and sleep on the side of the road, but it wasn't safe to do that. Like everybody kind of had to keep moving. I know you've gotten stuck.
Oh yeah. It's the
So I
worst.
couldn't find my road.
Oh
Couldn't
no.
even see the road. So I ended up at another road, a couple roads down, and then I kind of weaved my way. But I ended up in somebody's driveway. I was in somebody's front yard for a minute. And then I get home, and Garrett's trying to regulate my nervous system for me because he's
Oh.
the best. So he sits by me on the couch. He puts all of his stuff down. He was working. And I get sleepy because that's what happens when our nervous system shuts down with our person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, good night. Like, I'm good. And he's like, it was that bad, huh?
Oh.
That was so scary.
I know the wind is literally insane.
We have 7, 8 inches of snow at my house right now. We had
Yeah, I
none
don't.
left this morning.
Oh yeah,
It
no.
didn't start snowing till 7 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, I don't think we have any.
It's absolutely nuts. So, anyway, it was my turn to have a near miss.
Yeah,
You're
you made
welcome.
it.
I am lucky though. I'm still kind of lucky. I figured it out.
You figured it out.
But my poor parents, they both end up on the phone. They're both Googling. They're trying to tell me where the roads are.
Oh.
They're both like, you're fine, you're fine. You're gonna end on the road. I'm like, I don't know what the road is. I can't see the road. I ended up right in front of my neighbor's mailbox. I
Oh
just
my
happened to
gosh.
stop, and the mailbox is right in front of my car. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
The only somewhat nice thing when the roads are super, super terrible is I think drivers get a little nicer.
Yes.
And so you can try to guess where the lines are and all that, and no one's
Yes.
gonna be mad at you.
Well, and it was funny because I-25 is 6 lanes, right? Three on
Yeah,
each
I hate I-25, but yes.
side. So when it snows it goes to 2 lanes, and everybody knows it's 2 lanes, and you
Mhm.
just stick in your lane. That's what you do.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
some asshole comes up on the right side of me, making their own lane, and then they slid off into the guardrail, and I
Well,
was
that's
like,
what happens
"What
when
you
you're an
get?
idiot. Yep.
That's what you get." And they had
That's
Colorado plates. I was disappointed.
that's what happens when you're an idiot. Well, here's the thing. Colorado plates means nothing. They could still be from somewhere else.
Oh, I know. I know. Well, and then you get some people who like they get in an SUV and they think now that does the driving for them, which it
Yeah.
does not.
No.
It's a whole thing. So anyway, I'm alive. I'm home. I'm going to bed after we record.
Sorry.
Oh, buddy.
That
I was like,
sucks.
Nat would not be happy that I'm doing this right now, but I had no other options.
No, I get it. I mean, I've driven in terrible weather before and it's not fun.
Mm.
It's
Nope.
terrifying.
No, I should tell our listeners the only workers' comp claim that our company has ever had was me.
Isn't me.
It was me.
I know. Thank God it wasn't me.
Oh,
Here's the
yeah,
funny thing. You were talking yesterday about how unlucky I am.
you are.
You also have your bouts
You're
of
not wrong.
disfortune.
Hmm. You're not wrong.
You are the only one that has workman's comp at our job.
So I was walking into work. If you want a little fun anecdote, I'm
Hmm.
walking into work. Our parking lot is notoriously slippery.
Hmm.
Walking in, I'm wearing cute shoes, and I see my client and I give her a little wave,
Oh my gosh.
and then she looked down and I like, what is it? RuPaul Drag Race? That's the show, right?
I have no idea.
Okay. Anyway, it's a show. It's like a drag show, competition show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I did like a death drop dance move,
Oh my gosh.
like flat down, like legs in different directions. It was unbelievable. My
That's so
client looks
funny.
up, she sees me, she's like, "Oh my God." She runs up for her. She helps me stand up. I'm like, "I'm good. I'm fine." I
Uh-huh.
go in to do my session and I'm like halfway through the session and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm like a little dizzy. I don't know that this was good."
Oh my
So I
gosh.
text my boss. He ends up in the hallway like waiting for me when I got out of my session.
Hmm.
And he was already on the phone with the insurance company because he's the best. And I got diagnosed with whiplash and I was all goofed up. I almost concussed myself. Thank God I didn't hit my head per
Well,
se.
yeah.
And I mean, it was a whole thing.
I know our parking lot, it gets dicey.
I just texted our boss and I said, "Hey, we have an event in the morning. There's a bunch of people coming." And I was like, "They need to shovel and salt the crap out of that parking lot, or we're all going to be ice skating in."
Yeah. Was it snowing at work?
Yeah.
Oh,
But it was more sleet until I got a little bit further south.
okay.
But one of our coworkers tipped me off that the road was kind of rough. So I kind of knew, but I did not know all
Oh
the
my
extent
gosh.
of it. I would have come home. I would have slept in my office. That's the truth. If I knew it was going to be that bad, I would have slept in my office.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would not have tried because I have to go back in the morning first thing. Stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Or get a hotel over there.
I'm not going to get a hotel. My office is gorgeous. I'll probably sleep on the couch. I'm not going to pay money.
It's fair.
Oh, I do. I get to go back to that hotel. You should come with me. Oh, no, you're going to have baby.
For what?
I'm going to be so the next board meeting next month, they put us up in a hotel. They're doing it in person. And I
Oh,
stayed
that'll
at
be
that one that I
fun.
liked out in
Yeah, Westminster.
no, it was in oh,
Morrison?
not Morrison, not Golden. I don't know. Red Rocks. It's close to Red Rocks.
Oh, okay.
But it was like really it was so nice. So,
That's cool.
I know, so I'm kind of excited about that. I love a night alone in a hotel is the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I was
Like
like looking at
starfish.
like trying to see if we could get like a little night in a hotel, Press and I, for like a baby moon, because there's no way we're doing like a real one because
No,
we're paying for our basement.
you sure are, yes.
But I was like, it'd be nice to do something fun, and I was like, maybe I'll just do it for me.
You know what? Do it.
I know.
Well, and
I
you and I are
know.
going to do a retreat and outline cases. That's the other thing we have to do.
I know. I'll have baby by then. Well, that'll have to be after baby comes.
Go to your parents' house. That's what we should do. Go up to your parents' house and
Yeah,
outline all the things.
they got plenty of space.
I know. It'd be great. Okay.
Okay.
Here's what we're doing for this mini. You ready?
Yes.
We're going to
Yes.
do an update of the Idaho Moscow murder case.
Love this.
We have just a couple little updates.
And we're gonna give a teaser of what's coming in April
We are.
and potentially new merch.
Oh, yes, I love this idea. So we'll do the update first, and then we'll give you a little teaser of things to come.
Perfect.
So, a couple updates on the court case. As you guys probably remember, the court case is slated to start in August, probably sometime in August. So there have been a couple of updates. The defense is shooting holes in all the things, which is their job.
Mm-hmm.
The DNA tactics the FBI used when they dug trash out and matched his dad's DNA to Brian Koberger, right?
Mm-hmm.
They ruled that didn't violate the law. But it does kind of raise some ethical questions just around how are they going to use that information in the future? Are sites like 23andMe safe? Because they technically don't use 23andMe. I looked this up, but it's two other databases that they use.
Okay.
So, but that's like a fair question.
Yeah.
But then there's some other things that came up, and I think this is really, really, really important. We have text messages finally from the surviving two roommates.
Yep.
And so I want to go over those real quick.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
How did they have to subpoena those messages?
They've had them. I don't think they had to subpoena them because I think the roommates gave it up immediately to try to help find him. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But they didn't release them until the defense challenged the text messages, calling them hearsay,
Oh.
which they're not hearsay. So
What?
they were admissible and are now public because they were part of that hearing.
Yeah. The hearsay thing's the dumbest thing ever.
It's not hearsay. It's clearly this happened. I will say once I read the text messages, it's like the worst case scenario in my brain. Where, because part of me was like, maybe she saw him, she wasn't thinking about it, she'd been drinking, she went back to bed, whatever. I didn't think that they were aware of what was happening.
Right.
This paints a very different picture of what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
The text messages that I read, and there may be more than this is just what has been released. Dylan Mortensen was the one who was on the main floor.
Okay.
Dylan Mortensen. So she was on that middle floor. It's 3 floors. I keep calling it the basement. It's not really a basement. They have like a main floor, second floor, third floor, but you can enter on the second floor or the first floor.
Okay.
And he came in on the second floor, the middle floor, through the sliding glass door. That's what they believe he did. So Dylan's room was down the hall a little bit and across the hall from Xana.
Okay.
Her nodal. So Dylan texted Bethany Funky, who was in the bottom floor, at 4:22 a.m. and said, "No one is answering. No one is answering." And I don't know what happened before that again. There's probably texts before that.
Yeah.
No one is answering. I'm really confused right now. I'm not kidding. I'm so freaked out.
Yeah.
Funk, I don't know if it's Funk or Funky, responds, "So am I." Mortensen says, "My phone's going to die. Fuck." Funky said, "Come to my room," and then separately run, separately down here.
Yeah.
4:32 a.m. So all those texts happen at the same time, basically, like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
4:32 a.m. Mortensen texted Kaylee Goncalves and Maddie Mogan, texted them, "Please answer." And then also at 10:23 a.m., so in the morning, texted, "Are you up?"
To the girls who died.
The picture we're starting to get is that these girls knew something was happening. They were scared. They had a sense. They heard some things too. And there's a lot of speculation that I don't want to get into because I don't know enough about what happened, but we're going to find out a ton because I think they heard more than we know because there's still a bunch of evidence they haven't released yet.
Yeah.
They know a bit more than just seeing him. They heard things, they heard, and we know some of the things they heard. They heard, "I'm going to help you." We don't know if that was Brian Koberger or Ethan to Xana.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone here. We don't know if that was Xana or Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
The clearest speculation I've heard, I heard this from, it was actually an investigator who said this. What they believe happened, this person, was that he came in, he likely was targeting Maddie. That was what he thought because
Yeah.
they didn't even know Kaylee was going to be there. Kaylee just randomly was there.
Because Kaylee had already graduated. She was
Kaylee had graduated and she was coming back to show Maddie her new car and visit.
Yeah. Yeah.
What this investigator thinks happened is probably Maddie was targeted. Kaylee likely heard what happened and was probably in her room with the dog, actually. So I don't know that they were in the bed together. So there's some speculation that she may have actually interrupted what was happening because her wounds were so different than Maddie's.
Interesting.
Mhm.
What was different?
I don't want to say all the details because I don't have it in front of me, but the severity of the wounds were different. So, like, the way that it happened, it looked a little bit more like Kaylee may have interrupted the scene and he attacked Kaylee and then she ended up on the bed because she came in. There's really nothing else in the room.
Yeah.
He may have attacked her also when she came in, but
Okay.
he may not have attacked both girls at the same time.
Oh,
And
okay.
the knife sheath was found under Maddie, which also kind of suggests that may be where he started. Was with
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, and because the dog was barking and there's a lot of that kind of stuff that we're going to find
Yeah.
out, right?
Yeah.
The investigator thinks there's someone here was probably Xana who heard something happening,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
probably went towards the stairs, realized and ran out.
Yeah.
And then Ethan may have tried to intercept the person or gone out to see and then was
What was going
confronted.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
would make sense.
And it could be that Ethan wanted to help Xana, truly, instead of that, because it's so creepy to think about the killer saying, I'm going to help you. It
Right.
may actually have been Ethan saying he was going to help, but their wounds were really severe and,
Yeah.
we just don't know.
That's
So we're
so
going to
crazy.
find out more. But I thought that was an interesting theory, though.
Yeah.
The other thing I heard was because I've been kind of curious if they saw each other, if the Koberger saw the surviving roommate.
Oh, yeah, because he walked right by her.
Why not kill her too? But one of the things that happens when your body's in that fight or flight adrenaline of attack mode like that, you actually get a bit of tunnel vision.
Yeah.
It is possible he didn't see her. He was pretty fixated on the door and he walked
Yeah.
right by her bedroom and out.
That's so
And
crazy.
killing four people is
That's going to give you some
major
adrenaline.
adrenaline, but also like you're going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
I mean, I just came home from my scary drive and I'm powering down. I cannot imagine,
Right. Right.
having your nervous system firing like that, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're a psychopath, you're
Right.
still going to your body's going to do some adrenaline things.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that to me, that whole story, first of all, I never thought the roommates were involved. I thought that was such a dumb theory from the beginning. But people really have put a lot of speculation on these roommates. And I just thought that was really sad. Really, really sad. Before they found Koberger, I did wonder if there was maybe some drug involvement or some kind of that kind of thing because of how
Sure.
vicious it was and to take
Yeah.
four people out in one house.
Yeah.
It felt
Yeah.
pretty targeted, but once they found Koberger, I was like, nobody was, and I never believed any of them were involved.
Yeah.
And
Well, and
statistically, there's no way.
there's already been speculation that he was targeting only Maddie, really,
Mhm.
before all that.
Yes. And my theory remains that he saw them at the vegan restaurant in Moscow. That's really what I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because how else would he have fixated on these two, found them on social media? Like they were
Yep.
there, he probably frequented it.
Yep.
So that's still what I think happened. But we will bring you guys all of the updates that we can. I also have a little bit from the morning after.
Mm.
Probably a lot of you have already heard the 911 call. Have you heard it, Nat? Or seen the transcript of it? It's more the transcript.
Oh, yeah, I have. Yeah.
It's so, 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 so sad.
I know.
So sad. Because they were trying to wake, their friends up, and especially Hunter. who was
Yeah.
Ethan's best friend, was kind of one of the first ones there. And so basically the prosecutors, they're going for the death penalty.
Good.
Yes, they're going for the death penalty. Oh, that's what we were going to tell them. Remember the death penalty? The
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what we were going to talk about. I'm so glad I remembered this. I was like,
Yes.
what was the thing that Nat wanted to mention when I give the update? And it was the death penalty thing.
Well, yeah, so I mean this isn't in the same state.
No, and it's not the same case or anything like that, but it's an interesting
No.
thing about the death penalty.
Yeah, so the death penalty thing that I was going to talk about, and I can just say it here because it's there's not enough information for us to do a whole mini on it. Um, but it's in South Carolina, they did a firing squad execution for a murderer. His name was Brad Sigmund. He was convicted of a double murder in 2002, opted to die by this method because I think he was like scared of lethal injection because it doesn't always work, but it's super painful.
Which I didn't know. I think I kind of assumed you fall asleep. Like it's kind of like surgery where they just you fall asleep and then they give you the stuff.
No, I don't think they're that merciful.
That's just awful. I know that sometimes it doesn't work, particularly in like larger people,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and he might I think he was a little bit bigger. Yeah, no, it's crazy. So it's like so basically he's in a jumpsuit strapped, like his ankles are shackled and all that. And he had a rectangle with a bullseye placed on his heart and hood
That
over.
when I heard that, I'm like, "Oh my God, they put a
Yeah,
hood over him?" Like
a
what?
hood over his head
I know.
before a yeah.
What in the 19th century are we doing? We just are going to put a bullseye on somebody?
Well, yeah, you got to aim somewhere.
I know, but that's just nuts to me. I know. But you know what? It would maybe be less painful, you're saying, I guess.
Oh, this was interesting. In a final statement that he said that was read before he died, his closing statement to be one of love and calling to my fellow Christians to help us end the death penalty.
Yeah.
He chose a firing squad. Yeah, that 3 bullets would shatter his bones and destroy his heart. Anyway, just crazy.
And
But
he
it's,
died real immediately, I guess.
oh, for sure. I mean, he got shot in the heart.
Say the thing about, okay, how they did it with the shooters. Remember
Oh,
they put,
yeah, so they line up 3 shooters. Well, this is actually really interesting. Oh,
I thought so too.
I saw something else that was kind of it's not funny, but kind it was a comedian, so it's kind of funny. But I'll say that in a second. So yeah, they line up 3 shooters, and each 2 of them have blanks, and one of them has the bullet, but it all feels like they're shooting a bullet.
Yep.
So none of them know who actually shoots the guy, so they don't actually have to live with the fact that they shot someone.
Mm,
Pretty crazy.
it's wild.
This comedian, I thought this was interesting,
Which
and
could be, I probably
can't,
won't
I
know them.
no, I can't even remember their name. If I come across it, I'll say it on on
Oh,
an
yeah.
episode. But he's like someone on TikTok that I've seen, but he was like, people who administer the death penalty are like the serial killers who've made it
Uh-huh.
because they kill so many people, but it's legal.
You know what? You're not wrong.
Yeah, I didn't come up with it. This comedian did, but I thought it was hilarious.
Well, okay, so I've talked before with psychopathy, and when we get into this, remember Jihadi John, that
No.
nightmare ISIS guy?
Yes.
Okay, so he's just a psychopath who found a job.
Yeah.
He really did. He found his dream job.
Yeah.
They really liked his work. He
No,
ended up
that
being
might be
in charge
these.
of all kinds of things.
Yeah. That might
Nightmare.
be these individuals who administer the death penalty.
I mean, what a weird job. Who's like,
Yeah.
sign me up for that?
Yeah. They're
Wild.
they might be serial killers who just made it in their field.
How much do you think they pay those people?
I'm gonna Google it.
Now I need to know.
Okay, let's see. I don't think the specific people make money. It's like They probably just have a salary.
Just a pool of salaried
Well, yeah, I bet they're
death
just like,
penalty
okay,
executives.
who wants to give the shot today?
Yeah.
The death penalty costs taxpayers on average $1 million.
Oh, I bet that's because all the court stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to be like the appeals and whatever. Not to mention how long they're on death row.
Yeah. Who administers the death penalty? Let's see. Administered by state or federal government. Well, I know, but what's the job position?
I mean, is it like corrections officer level
What
3, level 3 corrections?
is the job position called for people who administer?
That just would be a terrible thing to live with. It really would. Even if you believe in, the death penalty and you think the world's better off without them, it's still terrible.
Executioner.
Are there postings? I would never do it, but I'm
It
just
says executioner. This is
indeed.
the most common and widely understood term for individuals who carry out the capital punishment.
That's just nuts.
Wow.
Oh man.
Okay, anyway. Well, yeah, we'll have to just keep everyone updated on the Koberger case.
I just got a blizzard alert. Thanks for nothing.
Pretty wild.
I needed that before I took off. Okay. Oh, tell them what our episodes are going to be in April while you're having baby.
So, April is a big month with some crazy stuff. One, I'm having a baby. Two, it's also my dad's birthday.
Oh,
And
we love that.
three and four is we're not going to do an episode on this, but it's Hitler's birthday in April, April 20th, which is also the anniversary of Columbine,
Oh gosh.
which is also my dad's birthday. So it's like a whole
Which is
thing.
also a massive stoner holiday in Colorado. You get a contact eye when you walk out your front door.
Exactly. I'm just praying I don't have gray on April 20th.
Oh, you're not. That's 8 days after your due date.
I know. That'd be wild.
She's coming. She's going to flip and she's coming.
She better.
I'm just putting it out there.
What we are focusing on in April is Columbine, my friends.
Yes.
This one is a huge case. Janine and I have been working on this for like over a month.
It's so hard. We read the book by David Cullen. We've dug into interviews, articles, all the things.
We still don't even know how to set it up, and we're going to do the best we can with it because it's a big case and it's so dear to our hearts because one, we're Colorado natives, right? And we
I
both
was in high
remember it.
school. I was a freshman in high school when it happened.
Yeah, I was in fourth grade and I remember it.
We feel old.
We both remember
Yes.
the day that happened. So,
Well, and I know people who were there that day. I know someone who was shot that day. So, I mean, it's it changed so many things. It wasn't the first school shooting, but it was a completely different kind of thing. And
it set off a
yeah,
series.
it inspired a lot of nonsense. And I just saw the other day, I was telling you, I saw an article about a girl, a middle school girl who killed herself. Her parents didn't know she was a part of some, Eric and Dylan fan club
Oh gosh.
online.
Yeah, that's right.
And
That's
it's,
right.
real yucky. And so, I mean, the ripples of this are huge. We are not going to do a big, awful retelling of what the victims went through because y'all can find that information. And honestly, there's much more to talk about in terms of the psychology, how it changed the field, what we've learned, how we respond.
Well, and how it's unfortunately inspired a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, we're not glamorizing killers. We're going to talk about their psychology a fair bit. It's a duo, which I think duos are always pretty fascinating in these cases. So I'm going to do a mini on how that happens.
Yeah.
You end up with this perfect storm with, two people who get inspired to do something like this.
Yeah.
But we want to share some things with you that you've probably never heard.
Yeah, hopefully you never heard it.
Yeah.
If you do want more of the details of the whole thing of the whole day, the book that we are reading, shoot, I'm gonna butcher the name now because I
Dave
don't,
Cullen. Well, the name of it's Columbine.
yeah, it's Columbine by Dave Cullen.
Yeah,
And he dives into he dives into like every detail.
every detail. And I mean, we're going to talk about the attack itself because there's some very interesting things that happen. It could have been an
Yeah.
awful lot worse. There are I mean, it was terrible. It's one of the worst things that's ever happened in our country, but it could have been even worse. And there are some things that happen in the course of the attack
Yep.
I didn't know that are
Yep.
fascinating and make a
Yep.
lot of sense in retrospect. So,
Yeah. Well, and I didn't know as much as I'm learning about both Dylan and Eric. I didn't know as much
mhm.
about each of them. I thought they were way more similar, but they're not very similar.
No, no,
Um, and yeah, just very different psychological makeup that each of them have.
absolutely.
So we're going to dive into all that. But stay tuned, my friends. Last quick update is we are going to do an updated merch
Yeah.
launch hopefully soon.
Spring merch. We'll do spring merch.
We'll do some spring merch. So stay tuned for that. We're super excited. I'm not even going to say what it's going to say.
Well, and also, yeah, because we have a couple ideas. Also, we're going to do a push for followers
Uh-huh.
because our 1 year podcast anniversary, I think it's on April 12th, I want to say, or the 10th.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the 10th. I don't think it's the 12th. I think it's the 10th.
The 12th is my due date.
12th is your due date. It's locked into my brain.
Let
Um,
me look.
but we're going to celebrate a year on the podcast and probably do a merch giveaway if you guys can invite your friends to come follow us on Instagram and just keep downloading the podcast. It's helping us get momentum. Oh, I didn't tell you this. This is hilarious. So we have listeners all over the world, which is
Uh-huh.
incredible.
Uh-huh.
We have a couple of people, a couple of people in the Ukraine listening. So hello, if you're listening from the Ukraine.
Yes.
My mom, I tell her all the countries, and it's like Brazil, and it's like all over the place. I tell my mom, and she goes, "Oh, I know who that is." I'm like, what? She goes, well, I mean, I don't know for sure, but there's an author of a book that she read that she loves. And so what did she do? She DM'd the author because she does that.
Okay.
Tina. And there's no one she can't reach. Tom Brady, whoever it is, she's got opinions and she wants to get to know you. She's going to DM you. And
Yeah.
they write her back
Oh my gosh.
because she's Tina. And
I
she goes,
love
I
this
think
so
it's
much.
probably that author because she wrote me back and we DM each other. I was like, of course, mom would know the
That is
followers in
so
the Ukraine
funny.
or the follower. I don't know how many it is, but yes.
I love that so much.
I know, isn't that great? Tina's
I
such
was
a
just,
vibe.
okay, so hold on. I'm looking at my photos. So we took photos of the first weekend we did this. It says April 13th when I came over. Well, we posted our first episode. Yeah, girl. Our trailer was April 13th.
Grace coming on our 1 year
I
anniversary.
think we recorded our first one ever on April 12th
Oh my gosh.
of 2024 because I spent that weekend there.
I remember.
And I think we did a really late night Friday because I had wine.
That sounds like us.
And then, yeah. Or no, it might have been the 13th.
Yeah, I don't know. Your calendar is the most organized thing about you.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
amazing. So I trust your calendar, whatever it was. But
Yeah.
here's a little update, and then we'll let y'all go.
Okay.
Our newest countries. Okay. Well, these are our top countries.
Uh-huh.
India, UK, Australia, Ireland, Ukraine, France, Canada, Hungary, and these are just in the last couple episodes. Singapore, Netherlands. Oh, I know Broken Arrow. Those are my people. Appenels.
This.
I know. Isn't that fun?
So cool.
I know. Well, thank you guys for supporting us. And
Yeah, we are just so thankful for you guys and stay tuned for what we're bringing in April. And I actually today got some requests for May. So
Yay! Oh, you'll have
I
to send
know.
it to me later. I love
I
when we get
will.
requests.
Yeah, so we got some requests coming in from some of our fans for May. We got some really good stuff in April, and we're just stoked, and we're really, really happy that y'all love us. So send us ideas, send us feedback, whatever.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. And we will see you on Friday.
As always,
Bye, forensic friends. I'm Janine.
And I'm Nat.
And as always, thanks for listening and join us next week for more crime, psychology, and heart.